like to do this little trinket tray. I think I might have gotten it off of Temu, but it's a little bit smaller than I thought it was going to be when I ordered it. I thought it was going to be more like a plate. Again, maybe I didn't look at the measurements. I don't know. Anyway, I found, so that's the way you pour it in. It'll be upside down. So I found in my stash of goodies these very sweet, tiny little dried flowers, and I think they are just adorable. So what I'd like to do is start off and do a layer in all these little scallops of just a little flower in there. And then we'll let that cure, and then we'll move on. First off, I'm going to add some crushed crystal into my mix here. Oh, and then we'll see what comes from there. Not a lot, just a tiny bit, just to give it a little bit of interest, because remember, this is going to be the very edge of the tray. Come on, crystal, off of that stick. A lot of this, a little tiny bit of this stuff goes a very, very, very long way. It's very compacted in there in the bottle, so once you put it in resin and get it mixed in, it really does disperse. And if you can see the crystal in there, but I think that's enough. I'm going to use that cup to dip my flowers in, so I'm already going to use this cup. So I may try to actually pour with this cup. This might make things a little bit easier for my pouring situation. Remember, no biggie if we get it on the top or the sides. All of this is going to be resined at some stage. I'm just moving this away from, so that it doesn't stick on itself and not disperse the way that I want it to. So, don't know if you can see that line, but you can see where it is in there. You can see it's all the way around. And I'm going to, after this cures, I'm going to pour it up to where it meets the middle. So that's fine that it's there for now. I mean, it's fine that it went up higher than just that edge. And I'm going to use my little mold as kind of an indicator. Like if you look at molds and things, like if there was a reason I needed the center, there's a marking because this comes together in the center. So if there was, you know, a purpose that I needed to know where the center was, I could know that. Now, what I'm going to do, hope you can all see, is I'm going to pick up, I separated them and kind of put them in a line previously so that I'm a little bit controlling when it when it comes to you know, where I need things to be or whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm going to dip them. Oh boy. I'm going to dip them in resin. Now remember, your fronts are your backs here. So we're working upside down. So I want this flower to, oh, come on now. Since this is a tray, I think I'm going to want the flowers to point towards the inside of the tray, because generally you're looking down on it, like the sides come up. So what I'm going to do is insert them. If you can see it in there, down into each little scallop. And then I'm really going to babysit this, and I'm going to come back and look at it every, like, I don't know, 20 minutes to make sure that they don't pop up, because I don't know, I don't really have the, turn them over. See. And the reason I'm dipping it in is hopefully it will make whatever bubbles are intending to be stuck in these flowers not consider sticking. I got a little piece that came off of that one. Trying to see, is this the front or the back? That's okay, the front's right here. All right, flower. Actually, I'm pretty pleased with how easy these are to get down in there. Because you know, you can have these plans, you just never know what it's going to entail until you're in the middle of it. So did I flip him over? I did. That's the front.
Hi, I'm Hux. Be a nice human and smash that like button. Subscribe too. You know you want to.
So it's only been a few hours, and this is, it's really solid in there, but it's not, nowhere near cured. But I wanted to, and I did come in, I don't know, 2 times and mushed some of them down, but now I think they are, mushed some of the flowers down, but I think they are down there like for real. So what I'm going to do is put some crushed crystal in here to make it coordinate a little better with that other layer. What I understand, I've never tested this theory. What I've understand is that if you're doing something that is, you know, going to be 2 layers and it's going to be clear, that if you do it when the first layer is still a little bit tacky, that it is supposed to reduce the chances of having a line there and being able to see the difference between those 2 layers. We'll see how this works out. We'll see how this theory plays out. The problem is trying to match my crushed crystals. Can't really see down in there, but it's pretty crystally. What I'm trying to do is pour only up to the rim of the bowl so that my final pour will be the entire bottom and possibly out. I'm trying to have a level playing field, in other words, for the 3rd and final layer. So we're gonna go in there. It's impossible to try to it's pretty level. That's pretty lucky. So we're gonna let this completely cure, and then I will see you back. Okay, so this is all dry. You can see it's all the way up to there. You can see the edge all the way around. So it's a little bit higher than I wanted, but you know, you do what you can do. So the rule of, I'm gonna do a crackle. I'm hoping for a crackle. And you know, the rule of crackle is you do, first you do a transparent base. So I'm gonna do alcohol ink orange red. And that'll be what crackles through. And then the center, then you do a mica powder. So this is mica powder, this is apricot. And I thought it might be a nice contrast, and it's not as orange as orange. And then a clear. So you go this, pour it in the middle, this, pour it in the middle, this, pour it in the middle. And hopefully you get a crackle in the end. So we'll see. I've never done one on top of something else like this. I don't know if having, of course, because why wouldn't it? I would love to come up with a way to control these bottles. These bottles make me crazy sometimes. No idea why that is like that, but yikes. That was a lot. Good grief. Look at this mess. Man alive. And see, alcohol ink dries kind of quickly. So, ugh. Let's get this in here. Get it stirred up. And orange red is orange looking. I only did 1.5 ounces. I mixed 6 ounces, which is just way too much for this tray. So I am hoping that I'll let that degas for a few minutes. Then we're gonna do this mica powder. This is Magic Fly. I believe I got it on Amazon. Just do a little bit more. Nice and pearly, which most mica powders are. Come off of there. And this I am not going to put on the heat mat because I don't know how the heat mat will affect a crackle. I don't know if it needs more time or what the rule of thumb is. So I'm just hoping I'm going to do this accurately. And here we go. I'm going to pour right in the center. No idea what's floating in there. Waiting for this to close up. And a little bit of trepidation because I don't really know how deep this is. And I still need room for the clear. Oh, Lord. That is domed. It's as domed as we're gonna get. And see you at the demold. I don't think we have crackle. This shouldn't be there. But it's a pretty color, and I like the back. I just don't know that it's the effect we were going for, but we'll see. One second. Now this mold, where it dips in between these things, you can feel it. You can probably even see it a little bit. So even though it's not a crackle, I do think it's cute. And I like the way the edges are reflecting this, because there is no color in between there. But I like how it's kind of a neat effect that I wasn't expecting. There's our sweet little flowers. They do look cute. That's really neat. This edge. That's pretty neat. I'm not crazy about this dipping though, but you know, it's handmade. That's what a handmade is sometimes. You try for perfection, and it isn't necessarily what you'll get, but I like it. Just a little bit of clear. You can tell now how that triangle was made because of the way the mold has dips in there. This worked out as a nice little save to this project. So what I really like about it, I mean, you know, it fits, it's got the little flowers. I still love how this color reflects up into the edges of the dish. And another thing that it sort of helped to do was it leveled this trinket tray. Before it kind of dipped. I don't know if you remember that, but it fixed that. So this was a nice save. I mean, it almost looks like it was planned this way. And I'm going to count this as a win. Win-win. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for joining. It means so much more than you would ever know that you watched my video. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.